What's up? Facebook. You guys, I'm going live. I'm with Sam Video, Michael Hamburger, and Sean Vossler.
I think it's the one where I fall on. Yeah.
Dude, that's sick. The i8. He's actually giving this car away in this promotion. Scottsdale, and going to be meeting with Chris Record today. Nothing too fancy as far as accommodations here, but came a day early just to get some R&D time in, and we're gonna go get some breakfast right now. So it's 99 degrees right now. Let's see, high of 112. Let's go get some breakfast and catch up on some work. So we're here in Chris's house, and we just got done shooting a bunch of video actually, which was pretty awesome. And getting ready to jump over to his offices, but so far so good here in Scottsdale. We shot 2 promo videos for a promotion and been working on just creating some content, and you know, I got to drive in a really cool car. I'm actually not much of a car guy, but not gonna lie, the i8, which I'll show you in a minute, is a winner. I'm also stealing a Red Bull for the road. All right, Chris, did you have fun filming today?
I had fun filming the B-roll.
It was like the best part, wasn't it?
Yeah, the B-roll.
It was basically, we didn't have to think at all.
It was effortless. We got to drive around in a car and play golf, so yeah.
I think we should just, like you said, just have cameras on all day, every day.
Yeah.
And then edit, make people like Sam sit through hundreds of hours of video.
Well, it's funny because one of the best ways to cash in on your passion, whatever it is literally just do whatever it is you love doing
and film it.
And then
upload it.
There's an audience out there that wants to watch you doing what you love doing because they want to do what they love doing, and literally that's one of the best ways to make money is just showing people you can live your passion. So first of all, the door.
Yes.
This door is so heavy that I don't have to work out at the gym anymore.
It's
For example, that car right there, it's orange for my brand. It's a $100,000 plus car. It retails at $160,000. But in order to be able to cash in on my passion, I get to drive a fun car for like roughly 6 months, and then I give it away in a sales contest, and then I get another car, drive it for 6 months, give it away in a sales contest, continue to give it away. It's an awesome prize. People love winning them, and I get the perk and benefit of being able to drive branded cars as a tax write-off. Definitely not an R8. Like somehow calling it R4 is just worse.
Yeah. See, we'll start from. Have you got the final name picked for the school?
I am unable to tell you, but yes, we do have the final name.
Even more suspense added to the.
So right here you've got regular mode, goes quiet. That's comfort mode. Then you've got Eco Pro.
Yeah.
Which is basically like, it's super efficient and it'll really use the hybrid. Then you click this way, and then turns it over to power mode. So this thing is like 0 to 60 in around 4.4 seconds, I think. So it's got juice.
We established yesterday that it has horsepower. Oh. Just a little bit.
Well, that was 0 to 80 and
yeah, we'll have to check the time code on that one, but that was 0 to 80, a fun ride. Now we're in Scottsdale, Arizona right now, and what's interesting about Scottsdale is
there we go. There's the temperature.
102. Yeah, and
I love it. This is, to me, 100 degrees as long as it.
So let's hit on 3 cool things that we've been talking about over the last few days. It seems like I've been here a week, but it's only been like 48 hours. But what we've discussed, 1, marketing with your story, which was a good topic. 2, how to learn and how to learn more efficiently, effectively, and actually structure a way to learn things that are valuable for you and other people. And then 3rd, what's a good 3rd one?
Gamify life.
Gamify life. All right.
How to have fun and level up your life and level up your business.
Right. So you know what? Let's start with that 3rd one, because personally, I've never really. I showed you this app, and I can't for the life of me remember off the top of my head what it's called, but it lets you set up like literal XP for tasks you do and things like that. And it's kind of like the idea of
Gamify or something like that.
Yeah, start with an N. I'll put it wherever, description something. But yeah, it's like basically the app or the website lets you set up XP for doing certain things, and you could level up and all these things. And then I'm sitting here, I found that site a little while ago, I thought it was cool. And then we're sitting discussing how, what really made the difference in Chris's business and the way he views it, and how he's been leveling up in his own business. And it was just an interesting parallel. You literally have turned your life and business into a game, right?
Yeah, so what I've done is I've said, okay, everybody's at a current level. Some people feel like they're newbies, so they feel like they're at level 1. Some people feel like they're at level 5. Some people feel like, wow, I wish I could be like so-and-so who's at level 10. Okay, well, you've got your mentors, people that are at higher levels. These are people that you can look up to, and a lot of them are providing knowledge and information to help you get up there, because they have failed enough at each level to be able to figure out how to beat it, how to win it. And so you can learn from their failures and their successes. And then there's people at lower levels that are looking to you, going, hey, can you give me some help? Can you give me some tips? Can you give me some advice? So figure out which level you're on. Make it up if you have to. There's no real actual level. And then figure out, okay, how can I gamify this? What will it take for me to beat this level? So let's say, I'm gonna give you 2 examples. Let's say one is building muscle, okay? You wanna get to a point where your goal is level 10 for you is like being able to bench press 300 pounds. Well, maybe now you can bench press 150 pounds, okay? It seems crazy to bench press 300. Well, take it in small little increments. Create 10 levels where you're gonna get to that point, and then as you graduate each level, maybe it's something like level 170, and then level 190, and then level 210, and then level 230, level 250. You see what I'm saying? All the way up to 300. And then put yourself on levels.
So let's put a little bit of structure to this. So there's 2 things you need, right? You need the goal, which is where you want to be. So there might be steps in between, which would be the levels. And then there's a measurement. So there's 3 things: the where you want to be, the in-between levels, and then the measurement. So in this case, it would be pounds that you're lifting. For a business, it might be financial. If for a charity, it might be number of people helped.
It might be how many social media followers you have. It might be how many blog posts you've written. It might be how much traffic you have to your website. It might be how many clients you have as a chiropractor. It has to be some type of metric that is measurable, because where performance is measured, performance improves. So each level, attach a measurable metric to it, and then on top of that, attach a series of things that are needed to get to the next level. So instead of going, how can I jump from 150 pounds to bench pressing 300 pounds? That is too difficult. Go instead, how can I go from bench pressing 150 pounds to bench pressing 170 pounds? That is realistic. And now you go, okay, in order for me to get there, what muscles must I improve? What diet must I follow? What consistency must I have at how many sessions, how many days must I have in gym time? How many hours must I put in?
I'm gonna add one more element called cheat codes. Are you ready?
Cheat codes.
We're because Chris is the expert here, and what I love to do is find some fun terminology to at least throw in the mix a little bit.
Okay, tell me about your cheat codes.
To me, cheat codes in life, if you want to level up faster, if you want to level up better, more efficiently, more effectively, is, and you touched on it already, but people who are already doing, who have already succeeded at what you want to do, mentors, right? So you find people, knowledge, right? Knowledge,
more experienced players,
more experienced
with higher XP levels.
And what they'll be able to do is help clarify those things that Chris just explained. Like if you're trying to figure out, okay, if you had zero information about how to go from benching 150 to 170, you might have to experiment with, okay, do I need more protein? If you literally had no knowledge, you wouldn't even know what kind of protein to start with. You wouldn't even know how much to eat. You wouldn't know, should I lift less and many more reps or whatever. What if you went to somebody who had already done that hundreds of times before, right? So for themselves and clients, and you gave them a cheat code, which, form of payment, or you were just awesome and they were awesome and they just helped you, right?
Yeah, like YouTube.
Like YouTube.
YouTube is a good example of
It's
that.
a great
there's
cheat
awesome
code.
people.
Yeah.
There's cheat codes on YouTube.
Yeah, because there's two ways to monetize content, right? And this is what people don't realize. Like, why is good content free on YouTube and other sites like that? Because you can either sell the information or you can sell things that help people execute the information. And that's why a lot of really good information, even sometimes the best information, is free, because they're not trying to monetize that information, they're working to monetize things around it. So they might sell software or an app or something else that helps you with that strategy, right?
Yeah, which is why cheat codes are readily available. There's going to be mentors that are at higher levels. There's going to be videos that you can watch from people that are at higher levels. You can get this cheat code information. So an example is going back to 150 pounds. If you want to go from bench pressing 150 pounds to 170 pounds, find somebody who's bench pressing, like 250 pounds.
Yeah.
And go ask them. Say, hey, listen, my goal is to one day bench press 300 pounds. But my immediate goal is to bench press 170 pounds. I currently can do 150 10 times. What are some tips or advice that you would have to get me there? That is mentorship. That is knowledge. So listen, here's a bold point that I want to make about mentorship that a lot of people get wrong. There's really two necessities, okay? Mentorship and motivation. So if you already know what to do, if you go, Chris, I already know how to go from 150 pounds to 170 pounds. If I just go to the gym and bench press 3 times per week for a month or 2 or 3, I'll get there. Yeah. Okay, so you already know what to do. Motivation is the issue. Yeah. Mentorship is not the issue. Motivation is the issue. So again, it's either mentorship or motivation. So that's
what have you found to be like, and not to go on too much of a tangent, but like motivation is something people assume they have to either have or get. Is that your experience? Like, what is motivation like as a conceptual thing to you? What have you found to be kind of either a drive to get motivation, or like how do you stay motivated when things get tough?
I stay motivated through, and everybody's different. I want to just put a disclaimer. I stay motivated through integrity. To me, when I learned from a mentor early on, and my mentor told me, I said, how are you so disciplined? You just every day you're just like so disciplined. He's a multimillionaire. Yeah. He said, Chris, here's what it comes down to. I make a promise to myself and then I keep it. Okay? Huh. And that's simple advice right there. So what I do is I make little small promises that I believe that I can keep. For example, I wanted to start waking up in the morning. So I started setting my alarm clock for 5 a.m. every single morning. The rule that I set wasn't, okay, you're now overnight a morning person and you're always gonna wake up. Because I knew I would not fall through on that rule. So what I did was I made a promise that I would keep. I'm gonna wake up to an alarm clock at 5 a.m. every single morning, and I'm gonna stay up for at least 20 minutes. Wow. And at that point, I can go back to sleep if I want. But I cannot, I have to wake up at 5 and I cannot go back to sleep until 5:20. I started with that. About half the time I just said, screw it, I'm gonna stay up. And then the other half the time I'm like, I'm definitely going back to sleep.
You didn't set yourself up for failure, which I think a lot of people do with their goals, is they make a goal that's so unreasonable given the circumstances that they just can't. Like if you would have said, I'm staying up no matter what, like the first time you fail, you're already gonna feel bad, right?
Correct, like going to the gym. If I go get a membership and say, I'm only gonna pay for this if I go to the gym 7 days per week, I already know realistically, I'm gonna fall out of that. There's gonna be days I'm out of town, then I'm gonna make up excuses. Next thing you know, I'm gonna pay for a gym membership and never go. So what you do is to find motivation, you basically make promises to yourself that you can keep, and then keep them. And don't set outlandish, unrealistic promises. Set very minimal promises, such as, you know what? I have a desire to be a morning person. I need to gain the motivation. I need to build the habit. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set an alarm every single morning, and at 5 a.m. I'm gonna stay awake for 20 minutes. That's such an easy, achievable goal. I was able to stick to that. And after about a month, I found myself staying up like 90% of the time. And then after about 2 months, I was a morning person.
Well, and so it's fascinating because you did something, I'm sure there's a term for it or something, where it's basically you take one step back from what the original goal would be, right? So you took the goal of getting up every morning at 5 and rolled it back just enough so that you set yourself up for success. And you tied the results to an action that are easily attainable. Like everybody can get up for 20 minutes. Everybody can do that. And through that act, you were able to keep motivated. I've never really looked at it that way, to be honest.
And it's actually part of a bigger goal, Sean. My goal wasn't to wake up, because that's not, what kind of a goal is that? You know, like my goal was actually to be more productive, and my goal was that success leaves clues. And I started hanging out with very successful people that built businesses and had net worths at over $100 million. And a common characteristic of about 25 people that I started meeting in some circles, a common characteristic is that they were all morning people. So here I was, not a morning person. I had formed a desire. I got a desire because of some mentors I was around. And then I got motivation. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. But I didn't set unrealistic plans. I've been a night person my whole life. You know, I was more likely to stay up until 5 a.m. than I was to go to sleep by 5 a.m. So it was a big change for me. And what I did was I set goals in small increments, small achievable goals. Because here's the thing, we work on a reward system. As human beings, we want rewards. So we want to see success and achievement. We want to see the word progress. So why not set these tiny little goals where you can actually reach them, and then you're suddenly rewarding yourself. You feel good. You're like, wow, I'm making progress. When you set a huge goal and you miss it, then you're a failure. Nobody likes being a failure. Everybody likes making progress. So take your big goals and chunk them down into small goals that you can make progress on.
Because it's fascinating. I've always heard that, you know, motivation isn't like an emotion. It isn't something that just happens. It's bred from action. Like motivation comes after you take an act, and I've always found that to be true in my case. When I can't get motivated, I do this like 5-second ritual where I say in 5 seconds, no matter what it is, I have to do the first step. Doesn't matter what it is. Oh, and this is the best part. Oh, we already missed it. It's okay. Put
it back on?
Yeah. Look at that. So that's pretty cool. Like, all right, we'll pick this up later. We're at the future headquarters of an undisclosed business that can't tell you the name of. But here, we gotta do this one more time. Oh yeah, the scissor doors. Very cool stuff. Well, thanks, Chris, for the brainstorm sesh. Oh, look at this. We're filming the filming.
Is this gonna mess with the space-time continuum?
This might break everything. We'll see.
Let's get back in.
All right.
What's up? Facebook. Just got a bunch of equipment coming in. I'm not sure how much. I think we ordered like 15,000 worth. I'm not sure how much of it is here, but a lot of good stuff.
How does that feel?
Sam does a lot of our video. David Abrams says hello. All right, Sam, take us away. What do we got here? Okay.
I may or may not be filming at the headquarters of the Internet Marketing College. And this is what you can. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. They got this to send to potential partners as, I don't know if gag gift is the right word, but I can get your attention right in a suitcase of that. Alright guys, well that'll about wrap up the vlog here, and I'm trying to do these dailies, but obviously when you're traveling it can get a little more complicated, but I hope you enjoyed it, learned a few things from Chris. I know I did. So if you want to keep in touch with Chris and follow along with what he's building out there in Arizona, just give him a follow on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com/ChrisRecord, and he's adding new stuff all the time to his new business, and he's just an all-around awesome guy. Definitely recommend keeping an eye on what this guy's building out. So that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.